And welcome back to the Kingpin Club at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. PBA Challenge continues with the Teen Masters Grand Championship. Mike Jakubowski with Randy Peterson, joined now by the founder of the Teen Masters, Gary Beck. When did the program start and what is the vision and purpose?
Our first year was 1997 in Akron, Ohio. Our champion was Michael Fagan, PBA champion as well now. The purpose of the event is to prepare teens for the game of life through the sport of bowling.
Gary, I really applaud the fact that you brought skill to this competition. What was the genesis behind that?
We wanted the event to focus on the skills of the players, so we made as many variables as possible go away. Everybody's using the same ball. The only difference is how well they throw it.
Well, I think it's a great idea. Let's take a look at the oil pattern that the teens will be bowling on. 40 feet on the left lane, 30 feet on the right lane, and it's very flat side to side. And as Gary mentioned, the equipment the teens will be using, the PBA Skill 2.0 is a plastic bowling ball. The 3.0 is urethane bowling ball. They were introduced back in 2013 at the National Finals in Fort Lauderdale.
'17-year-old Brandon Sotomasto and 17-year-old Bridget Jacobs square off in the Teen Masters Grand Championship. The boys' national champion and the girls' national champion for an additional college scholarship. And Bridget Jacobs will begin the competition on the left lane, which is oiled 40 feet long. Gary, you throw every challenge you can at these kids.
I mean, they're bowling on about 7 milliliters of oil. It's very flat, and accuracy is agreed.
Bridget Jacobs with an opening strike.
So Gary, 7 milliliters of oil compared to what is generally used on PBA Tour these days.
Well, the U.S. Open's the last event I know what the volume was, and it was 33 milliliters on each lane.
So it's kind of like we used to use about a thimble full of oil per lane, and now it's like a shot glass full of oil.
And not only is that shot glass fuller, but it also is slicker than what you used to use.
Yeah, more viscosity.
Yes.
Brandon Sotomasto opens on the right lane. That's oil to 30 feet with 30 feet of dry on the back end. Opening shot.
Wow.
Get smashed for Sotomasto.
I got to be honest, I wasn't expecting that. Both teams come out throwing strikes.
Well, I'm smiling. These kids have never been on national TV before. It's very intimidating, and to see them start off this strong, I'm relieved for them.
Well, if you watched the show last week, the winners of the doubles event were kids. One was 18 years old, the other one was 23, and they came out just like this, fearless.
Each player on a strike. Team Masters Grand Championship, second frame, Sotomasto.
Oh my.
And a mixing strike, 5-7 the last fall in opposite directions.
Brandon's got game, and lots of it. What a great hand at the bottom of the swing.
Qualifying results, Bridget Jacobs topped the field, Paige Beanie second, Megan Eaglehouse third, Brianna Lahan fourth. 42 games of qualifying consisting of 6 games on long oil, 6 games on short oil, 6 games on mixed pairs, and then match play, all in Las Vegas. A little light, and just a 2.
Gary, what's your take on the two-handed phenomenon that's really taking over the sport of bowling?
I'm not against it. Basically, if the player stays behind the line, I mean, we used to throw balls that only had 2 holes in them. In my day, you had to choose between accuracy and power, and it seems there is a new generation of players who've learned how to combine both. And if you have both accuracy and revolutions, you should dominate.
Yeah, agreed.
Mr. and Mrs. Jacobs taking in the action, and a lot of parental support for each kid in competition. Teen Masters builds relationships for life as well, doesn't it, Gary?
We create quite a social event for the kids. We opened with Blue Man Group last year. We're closing with a cruise this year. We get the kids to spend a lot of time together with each other, competing with each other, but also becoming lifelong friends.
Bucket combination, missing the 4 and adding the 7 for Bridget Jacobs.
Tough spare coming up here. 2, 5, 7. leaving the 2, 5, 7, 8. Good try, but leaves the back row. Brandon Sotomasto getting up on a double. Take a look at how he got here. 10,000 plus pins knocked down over 42 games. Take a good hard look, or a good close look, I should say, at this form and this style, and watch him how he creates the power at the bottom of the swing.
Light shakes out the bucket combo, just a 2 remaining.
Open hand release, cups that wrist and that elbow in the bottom of the swing. That's what creates the power. Comes in just a little bit light, leaving the 2-pin.
Gary, something consistent as Brandon makes the spare among every competitor is the fun they have while you challenge them. How do you get kids to have fun while they're being put to the test?
Kids like a challenge. They really do. They like to be tested. They don't mind failing as long as they think failure was caused by a fair environment. So again, by eliminating as many variables as possible, they're able to analyze what went wrong, what went right, and they're able to take credit for both.
4th frame in our Teen Masters Grand Championship. Light in the pocket. Bucket combo shakes out just double wood remaining. The 2 and the 8. The boys national champion and the girls national champion have already earned $7,500, and the winner will sweeten the pot. $10,000 on top. Going towards the college education via scholarship funds. Clips them both. Good spare. Sotomaster solid early, Randy. Bridget Jacobs is having plans to attend Maryland Eastern Shore.
Powerhouse of women's collegiate bowling, I might add.
The coach there is Kayla Bandy.
Yes.
Teen Masters alumni.
I've covered several of their NCAA events.
Big time player out of Pikeville College. And just the 4-pin. Bridget says she likes that there's no perceived advantage by equipment and that everybody has the same chance. Is that a common thread among players?
Yes, yes. Again, they like to understand if they fail, why they failed. I didn't match up is something that doesn't resonate with these kids.
Single pin spare attempt. Covered nicely by Bridget Jacobs.
So if I was bowling your event and I said I didn't match up, that I couldn't use that one?
You would get no sympathy.
Gotcha.
The kids would kind of turn their back and walk away.
But it's such a preparation for what's ahead in the sporting world, in the business world. There are many challenges to overcome.
Well, we talk to them before we start. You know, I ask them to look around the room. How many people do you see? Now subtract by 2. That's the number of losers we're going to have. But does that make, you know, if they don't win, does that make the event or the week a waste of time? No. They're going to struggle in their life, their classroom, their job, their marriage, other relationships. How do they deal with when things get tough?
This game right here is built around accuracy. You can see it in her delivery, her direction.
And a big solid finish position, Randy.
Well, she's very solid at the foul line, finishes the same, but this is a young lady who practices hitting her target and making shots.
Back over to Brandon Sotomasto, who is considering his college options among a couple of different schools. And the funds will always come in handy pursuing higher education. 25-pin lead here for Sotomasto, and it's the 5th frame. He's working on a spare. strike for
Wow.
Sotomasto.
It's impressive.
And there's Hari Sotomasto, Brandon's father. Sotomasto performs with
Speaking of performance,
a double. Taking a 35-pin lead, Brandon Sotomasto. Impressive from the start. Bridget Jacobs with a very pronounced follow-through and a great game. Sotomasto has the lead. Back half of our Teen Masters Grand Championship when we return. The Teen Masters Grand Championship rolls on in the Kingpin Club. Brandon Sotomasto with a double working in a 35-pin lead over Bridget Jacobs. Mike Jakubowski with Randy Peterson, Kimberly Pressler, and Teen Masters founder Gary Beck. And Gary, players limited to the plastic 2.0 ball and the urethane 3.0 ball. A life lesson is you have to make work what you have.
yeah, in life when you're facing challenges, typically you have to look internally in order to deal with them. And in this environment, they can't just change balls. They have to figure it out on their own and make an adjustment with how they're throwing.
Flat 10 there, Randy.
Yep, just not enough drive through the pocket. Ball needed to be either a little right of where it entered or a little left. And guys, I mean, I get this whole concept, and I think it's great, but we still can't lose sight or vision of the fact that this sport has evolved into what it is today, which is understanding, knowing when to change bowling balls, layouts, understanding differentials, RGs. And you know, that's the environment that we're in. And I think that we should have a combination of both. I think these are great events. I think the pros, I would love to see this on a professional level. But I don't think that we can discard where we're at. And I think that the players on the big tour today, on the PBA tour, are great shot makers. They're great spare shooters. But it has gone from when I first started on tour to just being a shot making kind of game to being a shot maker and also juggling equipment.
7th frame, Jacobs into the nose for 7.
Now, the goal of the Teen Masters is not to convert the rest of the bowling industry to this. This is a unique environment. The kids who come into this like it. 98% of them believe it helps them in their other bowling. Results of our kids going to other major events proves that. At another major event, they earned scholarships at a rate that was over 2 to 1. So this does help them in the other, and they all participate in that other level of the game.
And I couldn't agree more, Gary. And you know, a lot of times I get asked by parents of their junior bowlers and teens, hey, what do you think my child could do to better themselves in the sport? And my response is always the same. Bowl on something really, really tough. Or take out a urethane ball and play second arrow right in the middle of the oil. And that's how you get better.
Brandon Sotomasto, 7th frame, big lead, string of strikes working. Additional college scholarship on the line. Our national champions battling to be the grand champion.
Look out.
Oh.
Oh, back from deep, and he splits the 8 and the 9.
You're not supposed to do that with a urethane bowling ball on a flat pattern. Let's take a look.
Opportunity.
Let's take a look at how Brandon gets this done in our track tech talk. This guy's got a great game. It's the prototypical power game, and I want you to notice the bend in his arm and his elbow right here, and that's where he's going to cup the wrist and let her go. That's how you create the power. The other thing that he does, he gets the ball in the swing very, very early. Now he's on the left lane, the tight lane. Much more direct. You can't miss. You can't miss to the outside like he did on the right lane and expect to get it back on the 40-foot pattern. He knows that. He made sure that that ball was on line. What a great shot.
So you were surprised that the ball moved after he missed right, but we're only using 6 to 7 milliliters of oil, and these balls behave like bowling balls. They'll actually hook when there's only that little oil. You put them on 30 units of oil, these balls will skid through the pin deck. But go back to 6-7 milliliters, they behave like real bowling balls.
Yeah, it's a great point.
And that time picking up the 10-pin for Jacobs. Don't forget, coming up a little bit later, the women's portion of our regional challenge and also the men's portion of the regional challenge. Extra Frame, the PBA's online video subscription service, has exclusive live coverage of every PBA, PBA 50, and PWBA event. Extra Frame's big February calendar features coverage of 3 consecutive majors: the Firelike PBA Tournament of Champions, the USBC Masters, and the Barbasol PBA Players Championship. 3-day, monthly, and yearly subscriptions are available. For more information, click on the Extra Frame link at pba.com.
And doesn't Extra Frame cover the Teen Masters, MJ?
Has proudly done so for the last several years. Live coverage.
I have to interject here. We're very fortunate to have a partnership with the PBA Tour. Watching Brandon and Bridget engage with these professionals and having the PBA cover us and allowing these kids to bowl on Extra Frame and on the PBA coverage by ESPN, it's life-changing experiences these kids will remember for the rest of their lives. So thank you, PBA.
Thank you, Gary, as we complete the 9th and 10th frame.
Yeah, how many 17-year-olds can say they bowled on television, on ESPN?
2 this year.
Yeah, it's a good nugget to have, you know? What you've done here is you've laid down a great foundation in understanding what it takes to get to that next level. In my opinion, I think that, you know, you've got to have this and this understanding and everything that goes along with it.
Well, what is one of the things that makes Norm Duke so good? He's able to manipulate a bowling ball in several different ways, and because they only have these 2 options, they have to learn those basic skills.
Right.
They have no choice. If you can learn to knock down pins with these balls, it's likely you can do well with the others.
Brandon Sodermasto is our Team Masters Grand Champion. Gary Beck, Team Masters founder, we appreciate you joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Gary, always a pleasure. Thanks for your wonderful insight.
Brandon Sodermasto is the grand champion in the Team Masters, and we will be back. Brandon Sodermasto has added his name to the PBA Challenge Clash at the end of the show, and we will return to Reno. Kayaking right down the Truckee River into downtown Reno. Absolutely beautiful and a great walking path on either side. Brandon Sodermasto looking good, Randy, all throughout.
Yeah, he made some great shots and really made that urethane ball purr. 244, 178.
Kimberly Pressler is with our boys and girls national champions. Kimberly.
That's right, Mike. I'm down here with both of these guys because there really is no losers. These guys worked really hard, and they made it on national television. Bridget, congratulations for making it this far, but even though it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, how was your experience on ESPN?
Oh, I had a great time. The whole thing was a great experience, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Well, I'm sure you have a very bright future ahead of you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, Brandon, woo, you made it. So you just earned yourself $10,000 in scholarship money. How does that sound to you?
It's pretty cool.
Now, out of this entire experience, what do you think you've learned most about yourself?
I'm not good under pressure.
I beg to differ. You played very well today. He's a man of few words, but you know what? You have a bright future ahead of you as well. And congratulations on winning the Team Masters.
Thank you.
Proud family PBA Challenge Women's Regional Final is coming up next. Danielle McEwen versus Ingelimar Beasley.